Can you hear us, Humeda? Can you hear us? You have to unmute and say yes. Can you hear us? Can you hear us, Humeda? Can you unmute yourself? Can you hear us?
I'm on mute.
Okay, thank you. You are worried. We're going to start the program.
It's already on mute. Can you hear me?
Yes. Anyway, welcome all to this special event of our Interfaith Forum. This is to celebrate the International Women's Day. And we thank Akshaya to have initiated this, but she has not yet joined us. Hopefully she will join us soon. And as usual, we have the honoring the indigenous people and then the devotional part. The theme that we have selected for the devotional part is women. And we have selected the writings and allocated the writings to the friends to read. And we have 8 presenters, so everyone is given 10 minutes. So try and stick to the time. Can I invite Tracy to honor the indigenous people in the land, please?
Thank you. So I'm aware that we're an international group of speakers tonight and gathering, but still we're coming out of the base within Australia. And in Australia, we have the people who have been here for tens of thousands of years. In obedience to God, they recognize that they were created by God, a higher power than themselves they are accountable to, and they have a deep love for Mother Nature, for the earth, which they really recognize as their mother. And on this sort of time of celebrating women, it's important to celebrate the mother that we've all come from, Mother Earth, and pay our respects that Aboriginal people have managed to keep that devotion to that idea for tens of thousands of years. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. And now we are going to start the devotional part. And the first is the song about Mona, a young woman, 16-year-old, who was killed, hung, along with 9 other women, 40 years ago in Iran, simply because of their belief.
آره برادر کلک همشونو میکنی یالا آره
یالا زود باش کار داریم میخوایم بریم زود باش بجام از اول کاره
آره برادر کلک همشونو میکنی
Where I've got to be, taken in the night, her heart full of light. She said, this is where I've got to be. How can I tell you, how could she be so young to know the truth in all her dreams? To stand before them, to hear them say, save your life and throw your faith away. Mother with the children, send your love to me. All around the world, we'll go dancing. Mother with the children, send your love to me. Every precious moment, we'll be dancing. Every precious moment, we'll be free. The whole world was falling apart. She said, this is where I've got to be. A captive in the light, a love that burns so bright. This is where I've got to be. When they asked her, what could she say? She said, you can't break my heart, you can't take my faith away. And when they told her the price that she would pay, she said, take my life, take it all away, all away. Mother with the children, send your love to me. All around the world, I see you dancing. Mother with the children, send your love to me. Every precious moment, you'll be dancing. Every precious moment, you'll be free. Children, send your love to me. All around the world, our souls go dancing. With the children, you gave your life. All around the world, we'll go dancing. All around your love. I just say, I've been dancing. I've been dancing. Send your light to me. Send your light like the world. We'll be dancing.
O children of man, know ye not why he created you all from the same dust? One should exalt himself over the other. Ponder at all times your hearts how ye were created. Since we have created you from our own one same substance, it is incumbent on you to be even soul, to walk with the same feet, eat with the same mouth, and dwell in the same land. That from your inmost being, by you deeds and actions, the signs of oneness and the essence of detachment may be made manifest. Such is my counsel to you, concourse of light. Heed you this counsel that you may obtain fruit of holiness from the tree of wondrous glory. Bahai Scripture, Bahayu Allah. Thank you.
To a virgin espoused to a man whose name was Joseph, of the house of David, and the virgin's name was Mary. And the angel came in unto her and said, Hail, thou that art highly favoured, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women. And when she saw him, she was troubled at his saying, and cast in her mind what manner of salutation this should be. And the angel said unto her, Fear not, Mary, for thou hast found favour with God. And behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb, and bring forth a son, and shall call his name Jesus. He shall be great, and shall be called the Son of the Highest. And the Lord God shall give unto him the throne of his father David. And he shall reign over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdoms there shall be no end. Then said Mary unto the angel, How shall this be, seeing I know not a man? And the angel answered and said unto her, The Holy Ghost shall come upon thee, and the power of the highest shall overshadow thee. Therefore also that holy thing which shall be born of thee shall be called the Son of God. Christian Scripture.
In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. O men, fear your Lord, who hath created you of one man, nafs, soul, and of him created his wife, and from the these twine hath spread abroad so many men and women. And fear ye God, in whose name you ask mutual favors, and reverence the wounds that bear you. Verily, is God watching over you? It's now the scripture.
Just as the rust which develops on iron derives from it, but then proceeds to eat it away, so a person of unrestrained behavior is drawn to hell by his own actions. Lack of repetition is the blight of scriptures. Lack of repairs is the blight of buildings. The blight of beauty is laziness and carelessness. is the blight of a God. The blight of a woman is misconduct. The blight of a giver is meanness. Bad mental state are indeed blight in this world and the next. But the supreme blight, ignorance, is the blight of blights. Destroying this blight, be free of blights, Bhikkhus. Buddhist Dharmapada, saying of Buddha one.
That in which the poets rejoice, the revealed nature of prana, breath, in it the gods exist all joins together, having driven away evil by means of that Brahman, which is hidden in prana, the enlightened man goes to the Vashka world, becomes one with Hiranyagarbha, the universal spirit. No one wishing to describe him, prana, breath, by speech, describes him by calling him woman. Neither woman nor man, or man, all such names apply only to the material body and not to prana or breath. Upanishad, Volume 1, Aitareya, Aranyaka, Part 2.
I think it's okay. And among the teachings of Baha'u'llah is the equality of women and men. The world of humanity has two wings. One is women and the other men. Not until both wings are equally developed can the bird fly. Should one wing remain weak, flight is impossible. Not until the world of women becomes equal to the world of men in the acquisition of virtues and perfections can success and prosperity be attained as they ought to be. Baha'i Scriptures, Abdul Baha.
O thou beloved of my heart and soul, I have no refuge save thee. I raise no voice at dawn saving thy commemoration and praise. O thou beloved of my heart and soul, I have no refuge save thee. I raise no voice at dawn saving thy commemoration and praise. Thy love encompasseth me, and thy grace is perfect. My hope is in thee. O God, give me a new life at every instant, and bestow upon me the breaths of the Holy Spirit at every moment. O God, give me a new life at every instant, and bestow upon me the breaths of the Holy Spirit at every moment, in order that I may remain steadfast in thy love, attain unto great felicity, in order that I may remain steadfast in thy love, attain unto great felicity, that I may perceive the light, perceive the manifest light, and be in the state of utmost tranquility. Oh, perceive the light, perceive the manifest light, and be in the state of utmost tranquility and submissiveness. Verily thou art the giver, the forgiver, the compassionate. Verily thou art the giver, the forgiver, the compassionate. Verily thou art the giver, the forgiver, the compassionate. Verily thou art the giver, the forgiver, the compassionate.
Silva, we can't hear you.
Thank you all, and welcome to those who joined us late, and a special welcome to Akshaya, who was the initiator of this special event to celebrate International Women's Day. And a special thank you to all the speakers from all parts of the world. And we will be presenting in the order that is shown on the screen. So the first one will be Tracy, and then Thea, and then Maida, and Sunanda, and then Manisha, and Meenu, and then Margie Rose, and then Kalyamuthi. And as mentioned earlier, Everyone will take about 10 minutes. If it is 1 minute this way or that way, it's okay, 1 or 2 minutes. But be mindful of the time. And Anisha, I think he was going to give a quiz. If it is long, then you can split it into half. One at that time that is given to you, and then one after everyone gave a presentation. And Kalyamuthi is going to present from his point that he wrote. And also, if you could briefly introduce yourself when you are talking, that will be wonderful. So thank you, and I welcome, invite Tracy to give her presentation.
Thank you. So, yes, I'm a advocator for the equal rights of men and women to be respected and educated and valued. And I've chosen a woman today who rose up from extremely challenging beginning to end up at be given a state funeral with the Prime Minister speaking about her. So I've got a
Yes.
Yep. So Dr. Louisa O'Donoghue is the lady that I have chosen to speak about. She is an Australian Aboriginal woman who was born in 1932. Oh dear. She was born to an Aboriginal mother and a pastoralist father at De Rose Hill in the remote northwestern corner of South Australia. She's the little girl in the front of the boy there. She's there living in Colebrook Children's Home with her two older sisters who were taken before she was. So she lived on that mission and was trained as a domestic. The missionaries called her Lois. But she never was told anything about her mother as she was growing up, and her mother Lily was never given any information about the health or development of her children. So later on in life, we just said, I felt quite angry about the mission authorities for not in fact keeping in touch with my mother and at least sending her some photographs so she could know that we were okay and what we looked like. And 30 years later, a chance meeting with relatives at Cooper Pedy led her to be able to meet her mother, Lily. So she was 32 years old when she was able to meet her mother again. But by that time, her mother was completely brokenhearted. So she said, what I saw was a woman who had been undone. She hadn't been treated very well at all. So she did not allow how she was treated by others, by government policies, or by the cruelty of others to define her life. She became the first Aboriginal nurse in South Australia, but that was not without its difficulties as well. She was trained at the children's home to be a domestic worker, but that job led her to become a nursing aide at the Victor Harbour Hospital because they could see that she was able to do more but she was refused admission to the Royal Adelaide Hospital to complete nursing training because of her Aboriginality. The matron stood me up in the corridor outside her office and just told me very bluntly that I should go to Alice Springs and nurse my own people. She reported in 1994. But she'd never been in Alice Springs, and she'd never been given the opportunity to know her own people. So it really hurt her, but she never gave up. She successfully fought the decision, seeking support from the then Premier, Sir Thomas Playford, to eventually become South Australia's first Aboriginal nurse. After a decade of nursing that included time in India with the Baptist Overseas Mission, Dr. O'Donoghue joined the South Australian branch of the Federal Office of Aboriginal Affairs. That was the start of a lengthy career in the public service that saw her rise to become the founding chairperson of the National Aboriginal Conference. She then advised the government on how to replace this conference, working with Aboriginal Affairs Minister Jerry Hand to create the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Commission, and she chaired it. And while she chaired it, it was a very well-functioning organisation. Later on, when some men took over, they became a bit too self-interested, but she, as a woman, ran it with a motherly heart to make life better for Aboriginal people in Australia. In 1992, Dr. O'Donoghue became the first Australian Aboriginal person to address the United Nations General Assembly, urging that the Australian Constitution be changed to recognise Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people as the continent's original inhabitants. Back in 1992, it wouldn't have been many Indigenous people from any part in the world speaking to the United Nations. She was a senior member of the team that negotiated with the Prime Minister Paul Keating in 1993 to create Australia's historic native title legislation in the wake of the Mabo High Court decision. For those not from Australia, the High Court decision, Mabo High Court decision, confirmed that there were people living in Australia. It was not terra nullius, and those people had rights which had not been previously acknowledged. She said they were very intense, but she knew they had to achieve an outcome. She kept the attitude. The most important thing to do for Australians generally is to accept that Aboriginal people do have rights and to appreciate that we have a living culture and one that they can be part of. Despite her many accolades, which included an Order of Australia, a papal honour from Pope John Paul II, a national and Australian Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Lifetime Achievement Award, and 7 honorary doctorates, Dr. O'Donoghue was always humble about her achievements and the state of Indigenous affairs. My own heart is very heavy with the sadness of how little has been achieved, she said in Adelaide in 2008 at her final public address. Luigi O'Donoghue Foundation was launched in honour of her on her 90th birthday. You can see in her eyes that she has lived and seen many things and been a great, compassionate person for others. At her funeral, the 8th of March this year in Adelaide, which was a state funeral, the Prime Minister praised Dr. O'Donoghue for her unceasing work to better the lives of First Nations people. Her remarkable power was one built on an abiding faith in the possibility of a more united Australia. This was a faith she embodied with her efforts to bring about meaningful and lasting reconciliation between Indigenous and non-Indigenous Australia, a faith underpinned by her unceasing work to improve the lives of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Yet consider the storied ground in which this faith somehow took root, starting with a childhood that saw her separated from her family, her language, and her own name. Dr. O'Donoghue endured discrimination that would have given her every reason to lose faith in her country, but she never did. The little girl who longed to be reunited with her mother somehow transcended the weight of her own experience and grew into a woman of grace, moral clarity, and profound inner strength. A woman who grew up in hard country, yet emerged as a figure of such generosity. So I hope that her story can be an inspiration, a remarkable woman. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tracy. And we will have the discussions and questions at the end of the presentations by everyone. So now I call upon Akshaya to give her presentation. Akshaya, are you there?
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Sir, is my voice loud and clear enough?
To me, yes.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So, okay, louder. All right. So, greetings of the beautiful day to all. And we have gathered here to celebrate Women's International Day. And the theme is given by Google and United Nations, that is Inspire Inclusion. And here we have such a beautiful gallery of versatile people from different regions, from Australia, from Philippines, from Malaysia, from India, and from Germany, from Africa. So I think truly today the theme is very apt, and we are definitely following it. We are including variety of people, and we are really working on it. So thank you, Siva sir. So I welcome all of you to my presentation. So today I would like to speak about a very, very famous and a role model for the entire world, that is Jizau Bhosle, the Royal Queen of India. Some of you might have already heard her name. So she belonged to the 15th century, and she's said to be the royal queen of the Hindu kingdom. And she established the Swaraj. Swaraj means our own kingdom, where there would be peace, where there would be law and order, where women would be respected, and the land would be blessed by the blessings of God. I would like to share my screen. Just please give me 1 minute.
Yeah.
Is my screen visible, sir?
No.
Okay. Visible now, sir?
No. No.
Just 1 minute. Is it visible now?
No. You have to press the green share button, and then you will see options which one to share, and click that PowerPoint to what you want to share.
Sir, can you see the screen now?
Yes, yes.
I think the screen is visible now.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much. Yes. So my today's topic is a very apt topic for the Women's International Day, and the topic is Jizau Bhosle, the Royal Queen of India. So you can see her picture. So during the 15th century, I would just like to tell you briefly about the social status of women across the world, as in India, in Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity. So women were considered as less than. What was the term they used? Less than. In every also belittled women by saying that there is some problem with the women's brain, and that's why they cannot be equal to men. So such kind of thought process and underestimation had happened with women. So in such circumstances in India, women were also not given much, freedom and ex-freedom and social status. And here, this royal queen, you can see her, she looks so bold and so courageous with the vision in her eyes. And you can see behind her the fort. Yeah, that is the Rajgarh fort, the capital of the Maratha Empire, right? The Maratha Empire was established by Jizau. So she was a very visionary lady, and she took lots of efforts to establish order and peace in those days. Now, during those days, women were not allowed to go out of the house. They were, very much restricted. They could go only out of the house if they had to go to religious places or, some wedding, etc. So in such circumstances where women were kidnapped, women were not, given any respect, and India was invaded by invaders from all sides. So she established supremacy through her vision, through her courage, and it was something that was very fabulous. So I would like to share her thoughts with you. This was her philosophy: a strong turns them into opportunities. So a woman, that was her very strength. She was a very strong-willed lady. She believed in goddesses, Bhavani, and she was blessed by Bhavani goddesses. Now we would like to explain in briefly her reign. She reigned from 1645 to 1674. And recently, in India, it was her birth anniversary was celebrated with great pomp and fervor, and it is also celebrated in America and other. There is a Maharashtra Mandal, and the people celebrate her anniversary and her courageous achievements, and they teach the children how they can be victorious like her. So she was born on 12 January 1598 at Sindakhed Raja, a place near Buldhana district in Maharashtra. And she died at the age of 17th June 1674. So you can see a very beautiful picture over here. She, along with her son, that is Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Bhosle. So she had a dream. She had a dream she nurtured from her childhood, that India should be a free country and the invaders should let India live peacefully. So this dream she instilled in Shivaji Maharaj, and this is her statue, which you can see at the fort of Rajgarh, Raigad, and so many other forts. So I would like to take you a little bit ahead about her important journey. And the most interesting part of our Rajmata Jizabai, or the royal mother, was she was born in a very valorous family. Her father, Lakhoji Raje Jadhav, in the Sindhghat territory of Vidarbha, Maharashtra, he gave birth to Jizabai. And since her babyhood, when she was a baby, he started training Jizabai in warfare, in sportsmanship. As she was growing, he taught her horse riding, and he gave her lessons in diplomacy, in how to settle conflicts. And she was such good at sportsmanship that even the generals and the sardars, fighting with her. So post marriage, she got married to a very valorous family once again. That is the Shahaji Bhosle, who was the general at the Sultan's army. So you can see that her childhood, her marriage to Shahaji, everything was like God blessed. And both of them dreamed of giving birth to a son or a daughter who would establish law and order in the country. And during her pregnancy also, she prayed to goddesses Bhavani Mata to give her a son or a daughter who would be the king of this country and who would destroy the invaders. In those days, India was invaded by sultans, Portuguese, English, and there were own Indians who were the prey of the sultan's court. So people did not have their own identity. Women were being kidnapped, and it was a very disastrous situation. In such circumstances, she became an efficient administrator, and she kept a close watch on the socio-political affairs of the state. Then she led the Marathas for fighting Shaiste Khan. When her son Shivaji Maharaj was trapped for 4 months, when Siddhi Johar besieged a fort called Panhala Fort, and Jizabai alone took the responsibility of the country, and she very confidently shouldered it. So even at the age when she was aging and she was in the advanced age, Shivaji Maharaj, her son, entrusted Swaraj in the safe hands of his mother. So you can see that she had a judicious nature. She was a great visionary. She was the pillar of the Swaraj. Swaraj means our own land. Then she was very well versed in conflict resolution, in political and war advice. People used to come to her from far and wide to seek her advice about how strategies and war tactics should be employed. She encouraged Shivaji to be a good king. She not only taught him different languages, Urdu, also she instilled in him values like honesty, treating women with respect. And as a result, Shivaji Maharaj was such a king who was respected across the globe. And she used to tell him stories of Ramayana, of Lord Rama, of ethics, values, and Mahabharata. As a result, when Shivaji grew up, he was a highly, very, you can say, skilled administrator, very good diplomat, and his people, his subjects loved him. They were ready to die for him. So there are so many generals who laid their life for the Swaraj. So here I would like to tell you that Jizabai was somebody who is a big role model for people, not only in India, but across the world. And her statues are erected in India, in some parts of Africa, and also in America. So today, as it is the Women's International event which we are celebrating, I appeal to all of you that if a father promotes and encourages his daughter, we can really have such courageous and visionary women in the world. And that is the case study of Jizau Bhosle, the Royal Queen of India. So I request all of you, please invest time, money, and energy and motivate your daughters to be strong, to be confident, to live a life of honor. And there are also cases where sometimes women come up, parents are not available, or fathers are sometimes having a traditional view. So in such circumstances, women have to be the torch bearers. They have to be the pillars, and they have to take the justice in their hands. And I would like to sum up my small presentation with a small quote from I have been teaching literature in college and university for a long time. So this is my very famous quote. I will be very happy to quote it. Just give me 1 minute, please. I will appreciate if there will be any any questions in the chat box or your responses, so we can use the chat box profusely. I will appreciate if there are some opinions in the chat box.
Thank you, Akshaya. As I mentioned earlier, yes, anyone who wants to comment on the chat box, please do so. But general questions and discussions will be after all the presentations are completed. Once again, I thank Akshaya, who has taken the initiative to have this event, this special event to mark the International Women's Day. Now, and I call upon Umeda Jamalon to give a presentation. Please briefly introduce yourself.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Is evening in your places now, or is it morning? I asked what is my topic, I was told any topic about women. And there are two topics which are closest to my heart. In the Baha'i faith, the principles of Baha'u'llah, there are two which are really very close to my heart. One is equality of men and women, and the other one is science and religion should go hand in hand. Now I will focus more on only about equality of men and women, and also I'll talk about a few women who are really outstanding in our country. About 2 centuries ago, and for the first time in the history of revealed religion, Baha'u'llah, the prophet founder of the Baha'i faith, proclaimed the equality of men and women. He supported by laws requiring the same standard of education for women as for men, and equality of rights in society. Equality of the sexes is, for Baha'is, a spiritual and moral standard essential for the unification of the planet and the unfoldment of a new world order. Without the qualities, talents, skills of both women and men, full economic and social development of the planet becomes impossible. In the present transition of humanity from adolescence to maturity, signs of this evolving equality can be observed everywhere. The intimate link between the unity of the human race and equality of the sexes is explained in the Baha'i writings. It says, and I quote, "Woman must be given the privilege of equal education with men and full right to his prerogatives. There must be no difference in the education of male and female in order that womankind may develop equal capacity and importance with man in the social and economic equation, so the world will attain unity and harmony, unquote. In past ages, humanity had been defective and inefficient because it had been incomplete. War and its ravages have blighted the world. The education of women will be a mighty step toward its abolition and ending, for she will use her whole influence against war. The woman rears the child and educates the youth to maturity. She will refuse to give her sons for sacrifice upon the field of battle. In fact, she will be the greatest factor in establishing universal peace and international arbitration. Surely, women will abolish warfare among mankind. To address inequality of the sexes, the United Nations launched the United Nations Decade for Women with emphasis on equality, development, and peace in 1975 to 1985. As a result of research undertaken during the decade, the vital contributions of women to the social and economic life of their nations became more and more visible. The decade brought women together and provided them with unprecedented opportunities to exchange views and experiences. Women found that their shared concern for their own future and for that of the human family enabled them to transcend national, class, and racial boundaries. Grassroots NGOs were created addressing specific needs of women. These NGOs have facilitated an extensive networking among women, empowering them to articulate their needs, design their own programs, and begin affecting policymaking at all levels. Systems that adhere to the pattern of domination characterize society for thousands of years. Notwithstanding humanity's reluctance to change, the balance is already shifting. Force is losing its weight, and mental alertness, intuition, and the spiritual qualities of love and service in which woman is strong are getting ascendance. Hence, the new age will be an age less masculine and more permeated with the feminine ideals. To be exact, it will be an age in which masculine and feminine elements in civilization will be more evenly balanced. The glimmerings of this new age is already seen in many countries where women have shown exceptional talents and abilities, even surpassing men in their respective fields. In my country, the Philippines, for example, we have had 2 lady presidents, and to date, 3 lady vice presidents. The present vice president is a lady, Ms. Sara Duterte. During the International Women's Day in 2022, the government awarded 14 Filipino women who made history, be it by excelling in their respective fields or creating their own path towards a momentous victory. These women have inspired generations for their notable contribution to the Philippines. Through their achievements, diligence, passion, and perseverance, they each had paved the way for the women of tomorrow. I only have 6 out of those. There are so many of them. I choose 6 who are for me worth mentioning. The remarkable women of the Philippines. During the International Women's Day, we celebrated and honored these remarkable women who have made history. The women have inspired generations for their notable contribution to the Philippines. Their stories each teach a valuable lesson. They said, never let someone tell you that you cannot accomplish your goals. Through hard work, your dreams are within reach. Through their achievements, diligence, passion, and perseverance, they each have paved the way for the women of tomorrow. I put here as number 1, a former senator, Miriam Defensor Santiago. I'm sorry I don't have their pictures. The late Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago was the first Filipino and Asian judge of the International Criminal Court. She was also the first female editor-in-chief of the University of the Philippines student newspaper, the Philippine Collegian. That is a very prestigious position to be possessed by a student. Many revere the senator for her intelligence and courage in fighting corruption in the country. Another one is Anastasia Hiron Topas. In 1917, she made history by becoming the Philippine General Hospital's first chief nurse and superintendent. Before they were all men. All the while, Calderon and a group of nurses strived to prepare a new law that would benefit the nursing education system. Another one which you may be familiar with because he's with sports. Hidelin Diaz, she was a weightlifting champion. She had proven that no amount of weight can weigh a woman down. Her historic range at the 2022 World Weightlifting Championship in Bogota, Colombia, where she captured the elusive world title and won 3 gold medals to complete her golden sweep, is a monumental addition to her already impressive collection of gold medals from the Olympics, Asian and Southeast Asian Games. Then we have the popular theater icon, Lea Salonga. She's undoubtedly an unmatched talent in the entertainment industry, both in the Philippines and abroad. The multi-awarded Broadway star is world famous for her iconic performance in musicals like Les Miserables, where she's earned the recognition of being the first Asian female to play Eponine and Fantine, and Miss Saigon, where she won a Tony Award and the Laurence Olivier Award for Best Actress in a Musical, among other recognition. Then we have Leni Robredo, the Vice President. She was the 14th Vice President of the Philippines. During her tenure, she garnered the highest audit rating from the Commission on Audit for 3 consecutive years, 2018 to 2020, and received recognition for her agile and competent pandemic response. Leni also spearheaded initiatives like Angay Buhay, an anti-poverty program that benefited around 622,000 families in 223 cities and municipalities across the country. Angat Buhay focused on 6K advocacy areas, one of which is women empowerment. Then we have Katrina Gray. You must have heard of her because she's a pageant winner, Miss Universe. But the Filipino-Austrian stunner is more than just a beautiful face. She's now one of the most famous personalities in the Philippines and is actively advocating important issues that she believes in, like women empowerment and indigenous culture conservation. In 2020, Catriona was named the Ambassador for Indigenous Handicrafts by the Philippines Department of Trade and Industry. And in 2020 and 2021, she was designated the Ambassador of the Arts by the National Commission for Culture and the Arts. And finally, we have Maria Risa, has been dedicated to journalism for over 25 years. From Bureau Chief of CNN, Head of News and Current Events at ABS-CBN, and CEO of Rappler, Risa has reported the news with integrity and spirit. She also taught at Princeton University and University of the Philippines. With such a heavy schedule, she found the time to author books as well. She solidified herself as an icon in media and in the fight for freedom of speech. She's the first Filipino Nobel Peace Prize laureate. So friends, those are only some of the, or few of the remarkable women at present. We have so many in the older times, during the war, against Spanish time, and then we have heroes, we have heroines, but that is one whole book to tell about. So just for the last note about the importance of women. While women must develop their capacities and step forward to play an active role in solving the world's problems, the impact of their action will be limited without the full cooperation of men. The Women working together in unity and harmony have already achieved a great deal within the sphere of influence open to them. New women must come together with men as equal partners. When men lend their full support to this process, welcoming women into all fields of human endeavor, valuing their contributions, and encouraging their participation, men and women together will help create the moral and psychological climate in which peace can emerge and an environmentally sustainable civilization can advance and flourish and make this world a better place to live in. So men are also necessary in this process. Thank you.
Thank you, Meda Jimalon. You are not introduced yourself. Can you briefly introduce yourself?
I just like to add one thing more. Last February 11 is International Day for Women and Girls in Science. Do you know that? This is an UN observance. It was passed in December 2015 in recognition of women's participation in the field of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And last February, yours truly had the honor of being recognized in the field of biology by the National Museum of the Philippines, Cebu. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This is Meda Jimalon from Philippines. She is new to our forum, the Interfaith Forum. Would you please briefly introduce yourself so that everyone knows about you? Can you hear us? Maybe she can't hear us. Okay, so we'll go to the next presentation. Sunanda, she is well known to us. She has given many presentations, and I'm still writing my gratitude journal since she gave the presentation many months ago. I invite Sunanda to give her presentation.
Yeah, thank you, Shiva sir, for giving this opportunity, and Vasanta Peri ma'am. Yeah, today we are celebrating Women's Day all over the world. To creating this thought, I think I thank Akshaya Anand. Yeah, beautifully they shared, I think Tracy, then Akshaya, Humeda, I thank them also, and upcoming speakers also. Today I'm going to share Savitri Phule. I hope those who are Indian origin, they know her. She started first school in Pune, 1848. With her husband, she created a lot of women activists, then women rights, women education, and social reformation in 1848 in Maharashtra state. Then I am going to share how we can protect ourselves. What is the good quality for successful women and those who are happily living in their days, right? 10 points that I'm going to share now. They embrace positivity. Usually what we will focus, more than 90%, we focus on negativity, right? Just now Siva Peri sir mentioned gratitude. Each and every day we have to focus what I'm having, right? Usually we focus what I don't have, we dwell on that. Just focus on positivity. Just we are enjoying good vibes through this forum, right? We can radiate positivity. In that way, we have to think ourselves. It makes a lot of difference from ordinary person to successful, happily living woman. Then practice gratitude. 3 things, what I am having, right? Just this moment or immediately waking up or before going to bed, 3 things or 5 things continuously when we focus 21 days, it impacts in our brain, in our physical body and emotional body. So we can change our habits. So practice gratitude, second point. Then third one is take care of your health. Usually we women, we won't focus for ourselves. We focus our family members, our partner, kids, right? In that way we focus. So focus on yourself first. Pampering yourself, just a few seconds, right? We can meditate, or we can go walk in nature, or a massage. You can go spa, whatever you want. You are staying in coastal area means you can go walk on nature. You can embrace the beach, right? Sunset or sunlight, whatever you are having nearby your area, that you can enjoy. Then positive relation. Now we are interacting. I think last meeting I met Akshaya. Through her, we are creating positivity. It will impact more in society, right? In that way, we can nurture positive relationship with others. Then afraid, they are not afraid of asking help, right? Yeah, I am having problem, so I need help. Those who are specialized in, we can ask them immediately. It may be psychiatrist, as a social worker, or a psychologist, clinical psychologist. In that way, we can ask help those who are expert in their field. Then embrace their flaws. Yeah, I am having this problem. I want to overcome that. How I can make? In that way, they will think in a positive way. So they will connect and they will ask help from others. Then continuously they learn and grow. Age is not limit, right? So continuously, yeah. I like psychology or I like history. In that way, we can choose for 1 year or 5 years. So I want to learn some new things. So our neuroconnectivity inside our brain, neuroplasticity will be increased. So aging will become, we don't go parlor or spa. We can fit inside our brain as well as physically. So continuously learn something new and we can grow. Then they know when to say no. We can make boundaries. Yeah, I can do this, or I don't want to trouble others. So we can limit ourselves. 24 hours we are having, but where I have to do this work or where I don't want to do this work, that I can know my limits or my expectations. I can work for myself, not for others. In that way, we can well place our no word. Then 8th one is celebrate other success, right? When Akshaya invited us, immediately we are accepting that greetings, right? In that way, we are celebrating International Women's Day through Global Village, right? The last point is they are true to themselves, right? I think till now, whatever points I shared, I am clear with that. They're true to themselves. They don't copy or they don't imitate others. Whatever I am having my strength or weaknesses, they will accept, they live according to that. So whenever I am true to myself, I don't want to get depression or stress or anxiety. So true to yourself always is a good attitude. Yeah, I thank Shiva sir giving this opportunity.
Thank you, Sunanda. You are always prompt and within the time that you are given. And little good pieces of advices to women. And the next one is Anisha. Anisha is very well known to this forum. She made a turning point in our forum format by introducing scriptural reasoning. So I invite Anisha to give a quiz the way that you can conduct the quiz the way that you want.
Thank you, Siva. Thank you, Siva, for the opportunity. And thank you so much, everyone, for the opportunity to speak here in front of you all. So it is a bit of a quiz, but it will come later. So keep waiting. What I will try doing is just share the screen first so that let me know if you all can see it. Somebody give me a thumbs up, say something.
Yes,
Yeah?
yes.
All right, so the presentation that I'm going to do for 10 minutes, and somebody, if they can time me, that will be good. And if you can give me a 2-minute remaining sign, and that will be helpful. I'm calling this presentation, it's called the Closing the Dream Gap presentation. But before we start, let me first pay my respects to the elders past, present, and emerging as I stand on the land of the Daruk people. And yeah. So today we are celebrating in this month of March a lot of things, not just Women's Day. It is Harmony Week as well, which is starting from tomorrow. And one of our presenters did remind us that we are also having the theme of Women's Day as Inspire Inclusion. And we also have Nowruz Mubarak, which is also something that the Baha'i community people also celebrate. I celebrate as well personally. So that is Nowruz Mubarak to everyone in advance, which is on 21st March coming up. And then Ramadan Mubarak to all our Muslim brothers and sisters around the world. So that's what we are doing in this month. And we are blessed to have this month. There's so much going on in this month for us. So to something that inspires us and inspires me, which is going to be underpinning my presentation, is this Quranic verse, which says, quote, "O humankind, indeed, we have created you from male and female and made you peoples and tribes, that you may know one another. Indeed, the most noble of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous of you. Indeed, Allah is all-knowing, all-aware." The Holy Quran, chapter 49, verse 30. So this is what is underpinning my presentation here. So it is about us being so diverse, so divided into peoples, tribes, nations, male, female. But the idea is that we all know each other. And hopefully through this presentation, we can know each other. So let's get going. I would want to start my presentation with a confession. This is a sorry to all the women around the world. And I would start that confession by quoting Rupi Kaur. She is a contemporary poet. And this is what she says, and I'm quoting her. "I want to apologize to all the women I have called pretty before I have called them intelligent or brave. I'm sorry I made it sound as though something as simple as what you are born with is the most you have to be proud of when your spirit has crushed mountains. From now on, I will say things like, you are resilient or you are extraordinary, not because I don't think you are pretty, but because you are so much more than that." And that's what we women symbolize today, and we women stand for. That we are not just the pretty, the cute, the girl, but we are a lot beyond that. And that's what needs to be recognized on this day as we are celebrating it. So here's the outline for my talk. I've started my talk with the idea of dream gap. We'll talk about it, what dream gap is. I'll share an inspiration, like everyone has shared a lot of inspiration, and most of them are from India. Mine one is also from India, so keep guessing who that person is. And I'll just share one solution of how we can close this dream gap. There will be many, but because my presentation is only 10 minutes and I'm almost lost 2 minutes in there, so I'll just share one small way of closing the dream gap. So here we come. The quiz starts now. All right. Anyone who knows the answer, please put it in the chat or unmute yourself and give the answer. Question 1. How many countries in the world have achieved gender parity? Like they've achieved gender equality? 0, 10, 20, 30.
10.
0.
Okay, so we have one vote for 10. Somebody said 0.
30.
Yes, I said 0.
Somebody
20.
said 30 as well. Okay.
20. 20.
20. Okay, 20. So everybody selected one option. So let's see who wins. And drum rolls for the answer. Okay, and the answer is, well, no, 0. The answer is 0. Till today, till including Australia, New Zealand, Philippines, wherever we are from, none of our countries have achieved gender equality in their countries, except top 9 countries, which is Ireland, Norway, Finland, New Zealand, Sweden, Germany, Nicaragua, Namibia, which are 2 African countries, a country in African continent, and Lithuania, have closed the gap up to 80%. But this is still not gender equality there. So as of now, the answer is 0. So all those who said 0, pat on your backs there. All right, question 2. How many % of women hold parliamentary seats? 16.5%, 26.5%, 36.5%, 46.5%.
1.
2.5.
Somebody saying the answer option is 1. Somebody said
16.5.
6.5.
16.5. Okay.
Yeah, 16.5.
16.5. Okay. Okay. And the answer is, drum rolls again. Look at this time. Let's see if you all can hear it. The answer is 26.5%.
Wow.
So as of January 2023, women held just over a quarter of parliamentary seats around the world. Only 13 countries, most of those are in Europe, have gender equal cabinets. So, and if we really want to achieve and reduce this parity, the ideal year is 2062. That's when we'll be able to achieve it. So let's hope most of us are alive by then, yeah, to see that day.
I want
Okay. Okay, the last question, and a simple one. For every dollar a man earns, women earns how many cents? 55 cents, 66 cents, 77 cents, 88 cents.
55.
55. Okay, I can hear 55 somewhere.
66.
66. Somebody said 66. Okay, this is the global denominator, yeah. So, and okay.
55.
55. Okay, thank you, Tracy, for that. All right, so let's see what the real answer is. It is 77 cents. This is the global one. And if we talk about Australia itself, Australian women are paid 17.5% less than men for doing the same work. This means that they would have to work an extra 64 days a year to get the same pay as men doing the same work. So that's the Human Rights Government site. This is all authentic. I've found all the authentic sites to get these data. So this is the data where it is coming from. So that's what we are talking about. So if you all, does anyone who can say something like a quick sentence of what does this number say? What does this quiz tell you about? Just one volunteer so that we can save time.
We are still discriminating women.
We are still discriminating. Okay, that's the conclusion. Let's go with that. All right, so here is what I want to show you about what is a dream gap. And I hope that, and there is no ad that pops up here. And if it does, you can enjoy the ad for a while. Oh, they did. Come on.
Let's talk about the dream gap. What's that? It's the gap that comes between girls and their full potential. You see, starting at age 5, girls stop believing they can be presidents, scientists, astronauts, big thinkers, engineers, CEOs, and the list goes on. Why? Because what else are we going to believe when by age 7, we're more likely to think that boys are smarter than us? That's ridiculous. When we are 3 times less likely to be given a science-related toy. That's sad. And when our parents are twice as likely to Google, is my son gifted? Then is my daughter gifted? That's not cool. We need to see brilliant women being brilliant and see how they got to where they are. To imagine ourselves doing what they do. But we can't do it alone. Moms, dads, brothers, and bosses. We need all of you to help. We need to close the dream gap. It's up to all of us.
And yeah, it is up to all of us to close the dream gap. So I hope by now you all know and you all understand what the dream gap is. And hopefully at the end of this presentation, at least I'll be able to share one way in which we can close this dream gap. And I'm sure you all would have amazing ideas to share. As we are talking about inspirational women, here is one inspirational woman who was trying to close this dream gap back in 1928. And back in 1928, this is what she was doing in India, when speaking English and women speaking in English was like a dream. So here is that woman, and I hope again another ad doesn't pop up. So let's keep waiting for that. So she's the woman. For those who can guess, let me know who she is. And I hope an ad doesn't pop up.
What's gambling really costing you?
Friends, I come to you from many thousand miles away as the ambassador of a very ancient country to the youngest nation in the world. It may surprise you that a country which you are taught to regard as conservative should have chosen a woman to be its representative and ambassador. But if you read aright the whole history of Indian civilization, you will realize that woman has been the very pivot of its culture, of its inspiration, and of all the embassies of peace that have gone abroad for many centuries to the uttermost parts of the world. Friends of the New World, I arrived only last night past that Statue of Liberty that stands as a guardian of your freedom at the gateways of a new world. And with the best intention in the world to feel unfamiliar in this new country, my spirit feels that it has come home to a new version of old things.
Yeah, for those who guessed who she is? Anyone?
I thought it started with the Sarojini Naidu.
It started with that. Okay, so you observed that. So that is a good question. Who observed it well? So yes, she is Sarojini Naidu. She is called the Nightingale of India. She was the first woman to become the governor in 1947, right when India got its independence. I can keep going on and on with all the achievements that she has had, but you have just heard her in action. She spoke in English with that elegant English in USA, and that was how she represented our country. And I think that itself is a big achievement. But what I want to emphasize more than her life and her story is two things that happened in her life, which we want to learn from and seek inspiration from. One is she was around people who were mentoring her. So she was being mentored by a lot of people. So I'm not saying that she was not blessed with a lot of skills. Yes, she was blessed with talent, skills, and knowledge that she had. She studied at Cambridge University. But at the same time, she had leaders who were mentoring her. Like in this picture, you can see Mahatma Gandhi and Gopal Krishna Gokhale, who were mentoring her to be a good leader. And once she was a good leader, she became a leader, successful leader, she started mentoring other women. And I think that is my biggest proposition and a kind of a claim to one way of reducing the dream gap is women mentoring women or even men mentoring women. I think it's high time that we start mentoring women and we start understanding that women need a little bit of push, a little bit of coaching, a little bit of empowerment or uplifting where they can come forward and start exploring the world and be themselves and succeed in the world like Sarojini Naidu has. So I think I would want to kind of just end my presentation with that if we want to close the dream gap, then one small step that we can take is by mentoring a woman. And the fact that I'm saying this is because I myself am a product of being mentored by many men and women in my life. And that's why I'm standing here and doing this presentation with you all. And I have got the privilege to be a mentor as well. So I'm not promoting this organization here, but last year I was a part of the Warrior Women organization. And I had the privilege of mentoring young women. And it was a privilege for me to do that. So I think this is the quote that I would end with is a glowing woman can help other women glow and still be lit. So, and with that, I would ask you all to share, how would you close the dream gap?
Thank you. That was very inspiring and wonderful presentation with your quiz, Anisa. As I mentioned, she has wealth of knowledge and she can mentor all of us. So come often and give such presentations.
Thank you.
Thank you. And the next one is Minu. Minu is from Australia and she is familiar to most of us. Welcome, Minu. And you wanted to share your video, you can.
Yes.
Screen, yeah.
Thank you, Silva. And very inspiring talks till now. I hope you're awake. And I asked Silva if I could do it maybe another time, but he said, no, it's fine, I could do that. So I hope you're not very tired and sleepy. What I want to share tonight is about the story of a mother and a daughter who were related to us and we knew them from Iran. And what I admire about them is their strength, their resilience, their courage, and the sacrifices that they made for their faith and standing for justice and human rights. And I would like to share just maybe very few minutes of the video about their story. And then later I'll see how much time we've got to go forward. See. Can you see that? Yes?
Yes.
This is I don't know what happened. Oh dear. I think it's coming like this.
Okay.
This is
My parents, Inayatullah and Azab, married in 1948.
don't know why it's stuck. As I try to make it big.
My parents, Inayatullah and Azab, married in 1948. They settled in the city in Rome, famous for legendary poets and extraordinary writings. Little by little, their family expanded into 5 children. My parents' constant and affectionate love for one another, and all of us, provided a bedrock of unwavering support for myself and my siblings. I was the 4th of 5 children. As I grew older, I found myself torn between the example of my siblings, who had ventured abroad to seek higher education and career opportunities, and my desire to stay close to my parents. All our lives were shaped by participation in our faith community. This included occasions marked by the Baha'i calendar, as well as the fundamental values which the Baha'i faith upholds, such as equality of men and women and the oneness of humanity. The year 1979 marks an abrupt turning point for our family, and indeed our whole nation. Following the Iranian Revolution, the country was transformed from a monarchy ruled by the Shah into a theocracy ruled by clergy. My father's pension was cut off, and I was expelled from university. Both of these actions were solely due to being Baha'i. The persecution of Baha'is soon progressed to mass arrests, torture, and even executions. Those dark days cast a shadow of fear over my siblings living abroad, who urged us to leave the country. But my parents, my younger sister, and I chose to stand in solidarity with those of our faith community and remain in Europe. My parents emphasized to me the value placed by the Baha'i faith on service to others, as well as education for all. I began teaching children's classes and became an active member of the youth committee. We hoped that by living the teachings of our faith, we could make a positive difference. On the fateful day of November 29, 1982, my family's world shattered. Our home was raided and searched by the Revolutionary Guards for 3 agonizing hours. The discovery of Baha'i literature and books led to the arrest of my father, my mother, and myself. I found myself in the Sepa detention center with my mother, while my father was confined in some other place. The prison guards forced us into repeated, lengthy interrogations. During these harrowing interrogations, they sought to break our spirit. For me, this was by claiming that my parents had renounced their faith. Repeatedly, they tried to pressure me to recant my beliefs as well. They even went so far as to subject me to mock execution. As Roya's mother, the months confined within the prison walls with my daughter were a blend of bitterness and sweetness. Witnessing her unwavering commitment to her beliefs filled me with pride, a testament to the strength instilled in her. Yet a heavy sorrow clung to my heart as I mourned the stolen normalcy of youth, those carefree moments that should have been hers. I knew there was a possibility that we might not emerge from this prison. I found myself compelled to make peace with the harsh reality that the life I had envisioned for my cherished child might be cut short. One day, the judge, Hojatul Islam Hazari, gave me an ultimatum: choose Islam or face a death sentence. I smiled and calmly responded, I accept Islam, but I am a Baha'i. The judge, exasperated, retorted, get lost. As directed, I left his presence, but in a moment of defiance, I re-entered the room, saying, sorry, sir, for wasting your time. Goodbye. The judge's fury felt palpable. Tragedy struck. My youngest daughter visited us in prison 2 days after what should have been her wedding day. Instead, she brought news of calamity. My husband had been hanged. We knew it was a possibility from the time he had been arrested. Still, the harsh reality and not having been allowed to say goodbye to my life partner and father of my children was devastating. We took comfort in the confirmation that this news proved that he had chosen to go to his death rather than recant and live. After receiving this devastating news, we were headed back to our ward when the guards redirected my mother, myself, and 8 other Baha'i women. They placed us on a minibus bound for Chogan Square. There, we beheld the gallows. I thought of my father's example. I witnessed my beloved mother's example, and those of my last companions in that terrible spiral, and I declined. My mother was aged 57, and I only 23. When we departed this earthly life together, united in our beliefs.
Sorry, I think in order not to go over time, can you hear me? In order not to go over time, I want to stop here. But in case you're interested, you can on the internet search for Our Story is One. And you might notice that this story is still continuing, not only for Baha'i women and men in Iran, but there's still lots of women of other faiths as well, who maybe heard it with the news, that since last year they were persecuted, a lot of women that they stood against the compulsory hijab and seeking their human rights. They were in prison and they were killed. So this struggle, it seems, is continuing, and our sisterhood is very strong. Everywhere, there are struggles, and yet there are lots of achievement as well, as we heard from other women in the world. Thank you very much, and I'll stop here.
Thank you, Minu. Yes. Our Story is One is a campaign the Baha'i International Community launched last year to mark the 40th anniversary of the hanging of 10 Baha'i women in Iran on the 18th of June, 1983. The video I presented at the very beginning is about Mona. She was a 16-year-old girl, and she was one of those 10 women hanged on the same night. If you remember the video, when she was about to be hung, you saw an old man, tears coming out of his eyes. He was one of those guards who was working responsible for hanging people. There are these stories of women all over the world. There are many women shedding tears as we speak now, everywhere. And as Anissa mentioned, the men have to work together to close the gap. This is not a talk fest. This is a moment for us to change the world. Thank you. And I invite Rosine Maji. She is new to, not new, she was part of our forum for some time. She is representing 2 continents. She is originally from Chad, but now living in Germany. Welcome, Rosine, and give your presentation.
Thank you, Siva. Thank you to everyone, as well, the organizer of this forum. I have a pleasure to introduce myself. Like Siva said already, my name is Remadi Rosine. I'm 42 years old. I am a mother of 4 children. I live right now since 2015 in Germany. And yeah, I am an engaged mother and engaged woman. I am activist for 2 different women associations. And one is called Engaged Women and the other one Women in Exile. I am supporting many women refugees, for example, from Afghanistan, Iran, etc. So I have a pleasure to introduce you two famous women in the German history. Maybe if Siva or Akshana, somebody can share my presentation, because I have difficulties with my computer. I'm using now my telephone.
Did you send it to me?
So, yes, on WhatsApp.
Oh, sorry, I didn't.
All right, no problem. All right, to not waste the time, maybe I will start already to speak, first of all, about Rosa Luxemburg. I don't know if somebody heard about that name. This woman, she was born in Poland in 1871, and she got murdered in 1990. And I chose this woman, why? Because Rosa Luxemburg, she was one of the figures in Germany who fight against many things. For example, during the First World War, and she is also the figure of the real democracy in Germany. And this woman, she was really engaged in 1914. She established the reason death of Luxembourg. So she's also inspired by the story of Spartacus. If somebody saw already this movie Spartacus, this was a big revolution in Europe to oppose the First World War. And yes, this woman, she died in a very bad condition, like many others people who are fighting for freedom, united in this world. So the second person I'm going to introduce, this is Angela Merkel. Angela Merkel, everybody knows already her name. She's also the most powerful woman. She was the most powerful woman in Germany, and she's also influencing the world as a leader. So Angela Merkel, why I choose her for my presentation? Because this woman, she showed already the real face of the democracy and the united in diversity. Because of this woman, because in 2015 she opened the Germans' border to many refugees from Iran and from Afghanistan, or many countries in war. And even the population were not happy about that, but she did it. She took the courage and she just did it. That's why she's called here in Germany. She was called Mutti, that's better, mother. She represents the face of the united, of the humanity. And this woman, she reminds us also the quotation of Baha'u'llah, which says the heart is about one country and all humans are the citizen. So yeah, and on the last position, I'm going also to introduce myself as an engaged woman and mother, like I said before. So for me, education, because as Baha'i, the education is the most important things in our society today. And education plays a very, very important role. That's why as a mother, I focus on that. And I'm not a politician, I am not an influencer person, but I'm just doing a very simple things, which I think can contribute to the betterment of the world today. So what I'm doing, I'm just offering as Baha'i children classes. I'm going to explain quick what is the children classes. The children classes is just a class which is focusing on virtues. So I am teaching virtues to the children, to my children as well at home. And it's a moral education program. So I offer this education in my locality. It's open and it's for free. I don't get any money for that. And all the children in my locality are always welcome, and we are learning virtues one time per week. So maybe you guys can go through the presentation and see more details. So since I don't have so many times, I'm just going to close the presentation with the quotation of Baha'u'llah, the founder of the Baha'i faith, who says, "Regard man has a mind rich in germs of inestimable value. Education can alone cause it to reveal its treasure and enable making to benefit therefrom." So by this citation, we can already understand the really value and the role of the education for today. That's why, as a woman, I am engaged for all my life, and I have passed through many difficulties. Also, since I came to Germany, I saw the forbid I had in my head before in Africa is that in Europe, democracy is there, equality is there. But when I came, I realized it was not, it was just a dream. It was not really real. And for example, my ex-husband was beating me in front of my children. It was, yes, many things happened to me, but still, as I stay engaged, and I call all the women around the world to be strong and to never give up and to educate our children that tomorrow we're going to have a better world. Thank you.
Thank you, Manji. Yes, it's very emotional when we really see the plight of women, and you are an example of how women have been treated and how women are courageous enough to face the challenges and overcome difficulties, definitely through the assistance of God's power that is given to every human individual. You have also shortened your presentation. Sorry, I didn't show this screen properly. So the first one she was talking about was Rosa Luxemburg. And the second one was that you saw all Angela Merkel. Thank you very much, Rosine. It's a wonderful presentation. Maybe we will have a lot to talk about all the presentations later. Well, we have been listening to women all this time. Now for the time for the men to do what we have to do to change this plight of women, to close the gap and to realize the dream that Anisha was talking about. So we welcome Kalyamuthi. He's a poet in addition to many other things. And the floor is yours, Kalyamuthi.
Greetings to all women in the world for Women's Day. I am R. Karyamurthy, started my second innings as poet, writer, motivational speaker, and social activities after my successful first innings in central government in India. Greetings to women world for Women's Day. It is my pleasure to join with you all to deliver my speech on women. I thank Shri Shopuri sir, Australia, my beloved friend, who elevated me to this coveted position. In fact, I am very proud to place in records that I have participated in his prestigious group, Interfaith, and delivered my lectures on Mahatma Gandhiji, Netaji Bose, and Swami Aurobindo. World surrounded by water in all forms, like ocean, waterfalls, rivers, streams, and canals. Yes, like water, but our life surrounded by women in all forms. She is the creator and destiny. Women in Hindu mythology worshipped as Shakti, and poets Rabindranath Tagore, Sarojini Naidu, Mahakavi Bharatiyar, Bharatidasan praised them as Shakti and nature. Yes, like water, women entwined in our lives. Throughout the world, women played a key role in the development of the society. Russian writer Maxim Gorky's Mother novel is a famous example for that. Invest in women. Accelerate progress is our keyword for this conference. Journey of successful role models from India started back from history. I am giving some few classic examples. Already our esteemed speakers gave very nice examples. Still, Gigi Boy, mother of great Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, Mumtaz, wife of Shah Jahan, inspiration to build Taj Mahal. Our great Kavi Queen, Sarojini Naidu poetess, Velu Natya, the woman warrior to fight for India independence. Rani Mangamma, another warrior from Madurai. Chellamma, wife of Mahakavi Bharatiya, etc. Now, I am submitting my poems on women from my book, A Drizzling from the Heart, an anthology of English poems for your wonderful experience to hear and mingle with soulful poetry, a poet's perception on woman. This is my book, A Drizzling from the Heart. From this, I am giving you 2 poems about women. Poem number 1, topic woman. This poetry received first prize in International Women's Competition. Women. Where the river starts and where it ends. Where the river starts and where it ends. Where the sky starts and where it ends. Where the sky starts and where it ends. Where the ocean starts and where it ends. Where the ocean starts and where it ends. Of course, where the breeze starts and where it ends. Where the breeze starts and where it ends. You flooded with love as a river. You flooded with love as river. You embrace your infinite love as a sky. You embrace with your infinite love as sky. You shower the depth and vastness of love. You shower the depth and vastness of love. You made your love presence all through life as grace. May the form different each stages of life. May the form difference in each stages of life. You remain immortal and be there always, give solace to mankind. You be immortal and be there always to give solace to mankind. This is the first prize on 2022. My another poem is on women. Women and nature are the same. Women and nature are the same. When away, they are beautiful. When near, they are charming. And when mingled, divine. Women and computer are the same. Women and computer are the same. They are full of memories. They are full of memories. They are user-friendly and they are care-sensitive. Women and ocean are the same. Women and ocean are the same. So they have a lot of treasures. They behold under currents and they have a lot of eternal bliss. Women and poem are the same. They have innumerable complexities. They have a lot of metaphor and rhymes. And they have a lot of love. A sweet frailty, thy name is woman. A sweet frailty, thy name is woman. Secured first prize in International Women's Conference in 2010. So with this, actually, I thank Subri sir for having to mingle in between all the great women personalities and present my views. Thank you, sir. Thank you to all.
Thank you. You are a very humble man with a lot of achievements and
one thing, sir, my daughter joined Abhijanagi, so I welcome her.
Yes, I was twice I was thinking about it and then I just forgot. We welcome
Janaki.
Abhi Janaki. Is Kalinamurthi's daughter. Are you there? Can you show your face, Abhi? Abhi Janaki?
Yeah, I'm here, but I cannot show my video.
Okay. Thank you. Maybe one day you can.
Thank you.
One day you can give a presentation at our regular forum. Yes.
Yeah, awesome.
And now that he has actually captured women, the nature of women in the poetry. But we have a lot of work to do as men. Now the forum is open, and let us share our thoughts on the presentations that was made, and also what we are going to do to make this world a better place where women are given the right place in the society. So please raise your hands, either using the reaction button or the physical hand, and be please brief in what you are going to say. And also I want to remind that we always have this quotation in our PowerPoint to say that whether by words or deeds, the merit of your every contribution to the social well-being lies first on your resolute commitment to discover the precious point of unity among contrasting perspectives around which contending peoples can coalesce. What it means, this is a quote from a letter from the Universal Office of Justice, the supreme administrative body of the Baha'i Faith, which means if we are doing or saying something for the good of the society, the merit of what we do lies first in this. That is, in discovering the precious point of unity among contrasting perspectives. Any topic that we are going to talk, there will be many different viewpoints and opinions. Rather than trying to establish who is right, who is wrong, the merit of what we do lies in finding the precious point of unity among these different opinions. So with that, we will open this forum for questions, comments, and discussions that can translate into constructive actions in our life. Young is one of our ardent supporter of this Interfaith Forum. Unfailingly, she attends every meeting, and she carefully listens all the talks and researches about the presenters, and she asks penetrating questions and thought-provoking comments. Welcome, Young.
Thank you so much, Terry, and all the genius speakers today that I've been hearing from you. I just want to do an executive summary here with the, how to close the gaps between problem between men and women as we see it, but actually there's no real problem there, as I see it, because just say, for example, you work in, this is about workforce. You work in an organization of 8,000 people, and you discover there's no paid maternity leave or grievance handling there, policies, nothing. So what we do, if we have any initiative, women will follow us anyway. You know, you don't have to say, oh, I want to be mentor, bring you, or you will be my mentee, or I'm mentor and all that, because they will follow you. Just like if they hear the fragrance of the roses, people will follow the roses because they know where the fragrance is. So that is easy job. Then we have to work with the, you know, we don't put a quotation, how many women we put in a parliament house. That is quotation. We have to have human rights awards, trophies, one of thing, funding, policies, legislations, and just say in Australia, around 1995, 1993, we have all the legislation, the affirmative action program for women, sex discrimination legislation, anti-discrimination legislation, gender pay equity, equal pay for work or equal value. But at the moment, not many women work in the construction industry. Do you hear that? In the construction industry, we lack labor, not only men, but very little women. But in the army, we see more women step into the army role. You know, in all countries, more army recruitment. So why is that? So that's another question we have to put out. So what I'm saying is, thank you for the idea that you're talking about education. I think it is extremely important because just like we step into the area where the education of women is so important, you know why? If the husband or the man or the son went into the war and get killed, who's gonna feed the children? So that is another job. So female always have to be educated so they can carry the burden or the joy of bringing up children if the husband get killed in the army, in the battlefield. Same thing is son or, you know, or the male roles. So I would say we, you know, to step into the boardroom or the parliament house is very easy job. It's not as hard as they made it out because we have policy to put women into the parliament house. It from top-down control. It from the, you know, the ruling class going down. It's something very old policies, is not new, right? So you say closing the gap. Why women have to struggle? There's no need to do it. We just have to do the right way. We have to respect the men. They have so many initiatives, and we have initiative, so we work together. The right hand and the left hand. Work together. Educate the kids. So nothing wrong with it. And then we give human rights award for people who work hard on it. Right? So because people, they have to see something, then they move forward. Like you say, maternity leave. Okay, I give you 9 weeks maternity leave. We pay. Then they follow you. You know, you don't have to say, I'm mentoring you. Or at the end of the step of the project, then I become your mentor. We don't need that. We engage them right from the step 1, square 1.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yun. I take these as a comments and Colin, and please, others who wants to say something, please raise your hand. Don't wait for the last minute. Colin?
Thank you. I just want to thank all the speakers for reminding me of how important and serious this subject is. Quite some years ago, I asked a couple of women who I respected, you know, why do you think women are not equal already, at least in Australia? You know, there's equal pay, etc., etc. And they said, no, women aren't equal. So I thought I'd better educate myself. And so I enrolled in a course called The Philosophical Study of Women at New South Wales University. And that was interesting and eye-opening, reading feminist literature and different kinds of literature. And even at the end of 6 months, they separated the men's class from the boys, from the girls' class, because when they were together, the girls couldn't get a word in. And I think that says something. And even right at the end of the 6 months, there was one male, when we got together, the girls and the boys got together to look at some short films showing examples of inequality and males misusing their power. One guy just couldn't really get it. He said, sure, she was saying no, but couldn't she have meant yes? And the women on the other side of the room, about to get up and tear into pieces, but they didn't, thank goodness. But how slow we men are to realise and to change, because a few years later I was teaching a class of 7 children in a school, and each week we'd learn a different principle, and this week the principle was the equality of men and women. And so I talked about the principle, and then I said, I made a joke, what I thought was a joke. I said, women, they think they're equal. And then one of these 7 10-year-old girls, one of them stood up and turned and faced her back to me, faced the back wall, and said, I'm not turning around until you apologise. And she was only 10. And of course I did. I realised instantly that it's not, this is really serious. And of course I apologised, and I learned. Anyway, I'm still learning, and I apologise. And I thank Rosine for sharing her experience that helps remind us how important this is. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Colin. Colin is a good teacher and also a good listener, and he teaches us how to be good listeners. Thank you. Anyone else? If not, I will ask Umeda, are you there? Can you hear us? Can you hear? Umeda, can you hear me? I don't think she can hear me.
Can I just quickly let you see this? I don't know if you can see this book, but that's the name is In a Different Voice. A Different Voice. This is a book I study when I study feminist study at the universities, and they gave you a lot of books to read, and and In a Different Voice from Carol Gilligan. It means that men have a different voice from women, but we complement to read each other, action and thinking and, projects, implementation, and get the outcomes and everything out of it. Because in the old days, women want to be liberated. They want to be feminist, right? So it's all good. There's nothing wrong with to be, feminist or liberated, nothing wrong with it. It's all about freedom. But then once the women get pregnant, it will be different. But nowadays we have IVF, and we have abortion problem and everything, but it's all natural because that's how God made people. But just like women want to be a leader in the church, is that also normal? Nothing wrong with it. If you have a skill capabilities, you can be a leader. There's no problem with it. So why people think it's a problem?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I was going to ask Mino, can you please, because I don't know whether I missed it or whether you didn't mention it. Can you please give the names of those people that that you showed the video about, the mother and the daughter, whose husband was killed before?
Yes, yes. So they are actually my husband's uncle, auntie, and cousin. And the father was hanged or executed just 2 days before. And then 2 days after, all the 10 women were executed. And Roya and Ezad were among them that I mentioned. They were there a lot. And of course, Mona, the one that you showed the video, the song in the beginning, she was just 17. And Roya was, our cousin was 22 at the beginning, she just 23. And her mother was the oldest, 57. And they had to witness, they were, just one by one hanged. And in order to coerce them, they had to say either they recant their faith. If they recant, they were free. Otherwise, they will be hanged. So one by one, they were hanged. And Mona, the youngest, she said she wanted to be the last. So she was the one that she kissed the news and put it around her.
So what was the name of those three, the mother and the daughter? What was the name?
Roya is the daughter and mother is Eza.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
That video, the Warriors one or the 10 roses of
The link. You can share the link in the interfaith group, and I can share with those who are others not in the group. And I want to ask Anisha, you had probably you had a lot of things to share because of the restricted time. You didn't. Do you have any more questions of that quiz?
No. I have hidden some slides I do have, but I've hidden those slides.
Right. Okay. And these. So what do you suggest that men should do to close the gap?
No, I think she has a valid point. I was coming from an experience as well as a TED talk that has inspired me. So in that, she was talking about a women leader, who did her own SWOT analysis of her own life. And then wherever she had some weaknesses, she identified who can coach her or mentor her. And that way, even a good leader can be a better leader, or even a good woman who is talented, blessed, whatnot, can still find or seek mentors herself. So that is what I did for myself as well. And that's why I am where I am today, thanks to the mentors who are in my life. So I think I was speaking out of experience, but yes, she is right as well. Not all women need mentor, which is great, but I am a product of being mentored. So, and I right now look forward to mentoring other women who really need that somebody who comes and says, hey, you've got this, you've done your best, you can do this. Somebody who is there to confide in them, believe in them, trust them. And I have seen those women excel, and I've seen those women go beyond what they thought they would themselves achieve. So I was coming from experience there. So yeah, I agree to both the points.
Thank you. I quite agree with you. And also, I mean, maybe the term mentoring, maybe it may give a different connotation to different people, but it is sharing your experience and knowledge, or accompanying someone who needs to be encouraged. So we can use different terms, but always everyone, they do these things. They are sharing their knowledge and experience with others. They encourage them, they accompany them in their journey, and at the same time, they learn from others too. So,
and it's both ways. Mentoring is both ways, because as I was mentoring my mentee, I was learning with her. So I was like, oh, I didn't know that before. And like, yeah, I'm learning as well. So I think it was a mutual learning experience and growing experience for us.
Yes. Okay. Who else wanted to ask? I think Pina, did you raise your hand? Yes. Can you comment or?
Yes, I just want to thank those wonderful men who made beautiful women, because there's no women without men, and there's no woman without man. That is literally and biologically or genetically, what you call. So congratulations to the men as well.
Yes.
Sir,
Thank
I would
you.
like to ask question to Anisha, madam.
Yes. Sure.
Yes. Anisha, madam, I really am influenced by the mentoring that you are doing for girls or women who come to you. So it's really very impressive. So can you please tell me, like, do you have some forum or some institute or some informal kind of a platform? Can you tell us more about it?
So I got associated with this foundation called the Warrior Women Foundation. That was last year that I was mentoring the women there. And this year I'm associated with a foundation called Sheroes. So not heroes, but Sheroes. So I'm mentoring global mentees now. So globally there are women who are connected to me, and then like I'll be mentoring them online.
Oh my
So,
God,
so
that
these
is
are
so
different
wonderful.
organizations, but if you Google, there are a lot of other organizations where you can sign up to mentor. You can even virtually mentor a woman. It's just a matter of talking to them, and in those conversations, you don't know what would come up. You don't know how you will spark an inspiration for them. So I would encourage all the women out here, if you are in a position to mentor, be a mentor. If you're in a position to be mentored, be open to be mentored. Yeah.
And this is
Very
one
well said. Very well said.
Thank you. And this is one of the slides that Anissa had. We are joined by a new attendee, Jicole Bernardine. Anyway, it says, I don't know whether everyone had the chance to read it. I want to apologize to all the women I have called pretty. Before I have called them intelligent or brave. I'm sorry I made it sound as though something as simple as what you are born with is the most you have to be proud of when your spirit has crushed mountains. From now on, I will say things like, you are resilient or you are extraordinary, not because I don't think you are pretty, but because you are so much more than that. Thank you. And who is Ruby Kaur?
She's a contemporary poet. She's a poet who is inspiring many other women in the world today.
In India?
I think she's based in USA, and she does like poetry recitation tours as well across the world.
Right.
And she was here in Sydney a couple of months ago doing
Yeah.
the recitations.
Thank you. And Jicole Bernardine, would you like to say something? Can you hear us? Can you hear Jicole? Maybe
I think she has a microphone issue. That's my older sister. She's in Malaysia right now.
Oh, I see. Okay. And Roya, silent listener, are you there to say anything? No. Ahmad, Anis.
Sorry, I've been traveling, coming back from outside, so nothing to say because I missed a few bit of it.
Okay. And Ian, do you have anything to say? Basanta, my wife, maybe she has gone to sleep. Okay, Yung, you have raised your hand again.
Thank you. I won't be long. That poem that you just show, the apology paragraph that you show us, from Ruby Cole. I just read them and I think something to do with internal beauty and external beauty. It's all about it, internal beauty and external beauty. And I talk about when we work together, I don't know if people understand me very clearly. The work how to make people progress, like a break the glass ceiling, get them to a promotion, to be leaders and all this. It's not, it is a teamwork, actually, teamwork. So what my executive summary is all about, teamwork. That's all. And so mentor and mentoring are important, very important, but what I just try to get to the outcome of it is a work of a teamwork. If you want to reach a human rights awards or trophies, and you can bring all that trophies back to your people, you're not the only recipient, but you got to bring back to the people and celebrate that. And the other thing that before we celebrate other women successful, we have to celebrate our mothers, our sisters, younger sister, older sister, because they all contribute to the work of women, contribution, right? Just like if your mom is a super mom, for example, then you have to celebrate her success. So what I'm saying is, and then another point I want to say out is, when we work together, we should be diplomatic. Mean we don't go against the authority. We should work with the authority because we need funding. We can't work without funding. So therefore, we need to be diplomatic financially. I mean, so why we go against the authority? We won't get anything. You know what I mean? Like, have to be realistic.
I think when there's injustice, people have to stand up for justice, and even if it is authority, if the authority is injustice, you have to stand up against it. But use peaceful means, not violence means. Thank you for your comments. And also, I think one of the reasons is also because men have this entrenched idea that they are superior to women. There is also some segment of, or some of the women also have this idea that they are so, right? Now, I think what Sunanda gave those, is he there? Sunanda? Oh, she has just left, I think. I gave some tips for women to empower themselves in their own. So thank you for that. And can I ask, what's the name? Rose, can you tell us about the children classes? How long have you been teaching the children classes? How many children are there? And do you see changes in their attitude, especially about equality of men and women?
Thank you, Siva. Is the question to me directly?
Yes.
All right. Yes, I have started to teach children classes since I was in Chad, because I became Baha'i when I was 17. And I was inspired already by really Baha'i women like Tahere, for example, and Mona, the story of Mona. So I decided myself what I can do also to make this world better. And that's why I was focusing more on children classes. I had also a pre-young program. I was the first coordinator of the pre-young program for Central Africa. And for the children classes in Chad, I had a lot of kids. It was like more than 20 children coming to my place every Saturday. And after I left, they continue. Few of them, they become pre-youngs, and few of them, they declare Baha'i. Few of them, they have now a very good education in the society. And then after I came here in Germany, I start since 2 years ago, the first student classes. I start first of all with 5 or 6 children, a different nationality, and and few mothers, they were also helping me with this program. And now I give this class to another Baha'i friends, and I started with the small children, also including my children as well, my daughter Mona, 4 years old, and my son, 6 years old, and others friends from the school. So I have now in total around 7 children with the small children. But for the big children, I have seen a lot of improvement, because a few of those kids, they are talking now about peace, about justice, about forgiveness. So you can see before, because when I came, the things which gave me the motivation was the racism, because it was difficult for the Black children and white and others, white, for example, European who are not Germans, to come together. The Germans were all Germans together, the foreigners are together. So I was coming always in the playground, and in that place there is a house. So I spoke to this woman. I said I would like to initiate a Baha'i program, which is called children classes. she gave me the permission, and I started. And then I was starting to play with the kids, the white children, the Germans, and the others, and Africans all together. All the kids, they were always coming to me. And the parents, they were impressed. They were asking themselves, wow, how this woman, she can manage to be nice to all the kids, and all the kids love her, because I mean, all the kids here, they knows me. When I'm always in the school, they always scream, Rosine, Rosine, Rosine. So I became friends with all the kids, and I started the children program. And then the parents, they were interested to come. So we created a small United, and those kids are start to playing together until today. So thanks, Baha'u'llah. And yeah, I hope when they will grow up, they will show new faces. And as I mentioned before, what Angela Merkel did, because I could see what she did, the fruit will come tomorrow, because you can see today the many different races are coming together, but people, they don't see it now. Before, it was not easy to see Arab people and Persian people together coming, or European people, but now you see everywhere Persian, Arab, Germans, they talking, or other European country coming together. It's wonderful. Yes, and through these Baha'i classes, yeah, the fruit is there. The kids are coming together now. Many countries. Unfortunately, my computer has a difficulty. Otherwise, I could have shared some pictures. Maybe next time, if I have a chance.
Thank you. And you said that you started these classes when you were in Chad. So at least maybe 10 years ago. So maybe some of them are now adults. Can you find someone who can share their experience, how they transform themselves and how they are contributing to the welfare of humanity, especially the equality of men and women, in one of our meetings later on? Can you?
I'd like to share what I I became Baha'i when I was already 40 plus. And listening to all the speakers, I was thinking that each problem in the world, Baha'u'llah has a solution. So if you're going to look at his principles in a nutshell, elimination of all kinds of prejudice, equality of men and women, education for all. Now, these are only a few of the solutions to the problem. Now, for example, we have education of children. We are giving so much emphasis on this all over the world. Now, if we're going to educate really properly children, then it should be the mothers who are going to be empowered, because good children come from good mothers and the other way around. So empowerment of women should be really focused on all kinds, no matter what is your religion. And another thing is that we want world peace. For me, the solution is easy. We want to have no war, then let us not breed soldiers. I'm campaigning on mothers not to have a child who will become a soldier. If there is no soldier, we'll have no generals, we'll have no war, right? So if all mothers in the world would decide not to produce soldiers, then that is one solution to the elimination of war. We don't have to use guns. So we can have police, yes, to have peace. So these things about elimination of all kinds of prejudice, that is a cause also of all these problems in the world. Consultation should be learned by everybody. What is the proper consultation? Governments are, within the government itself, there's a lot of problem because they don't consult. And I think if they only apply this kind of solution, then, as I said, if you're going to study the principles of Baha'u'llah, they are all there to be used in order that we can achieve this world peace and also a better, the world to be a better place to live in. So, but I think we should put emphasis on children's classes, educate children, that is not only materially but spiritually. and also empowerment of women. Because I think it's in their hands, in our hands, that the world, will become better.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And probably this may be the last comment, and it is appropriate that Akshaya is the latest member to join the interfaith group, but she has shown her capacity and talent and courage in initiating this special event to celebrate the International Women's Day. And she has raised her hands to comment. Akshaya?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And I'm really grateful to all the people, that is Siva sir, Sunanda madam, Yung madam, Peena madam, Humeda madam, Rosalyn. And in such less time, we all have come together. So that is the beauty of this program, isn't it? And since I am an international scholar of peace and non-violence, I am on a mission. I am on a mission to spread love, harmony, and peace in all the countries. And that's why it is really very, very close to my heart. So in this context, I want to express my deep felt gratitude to all of you, to all the speakers. If I have forgotten any name, please forgive me. And Rosalyn has been doing a great job. Anisha is mentoring women at global level, and all of us are involved in some kind of spiritual work. And a special salute to Murthy sir. For Murthy sir, Murthy sir, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, he can hear you.
Yes, and a special salute to Murthy sir. So much enthusiasm, so much of dedication, and the poetry that you quoted is so touching. Really, hats off to you, sir.
Thank you.
Really, thank you, sir. Yes, sir, I mean it. And I'm really grateful to all of you. And before we call it a day, I don't think we are going to stop here. Rather, this is just the beginning. This is just where we are going to start our journey. So I would just like to appeal to all the women here, as Anisha madam pointed out, that there is a reality gap. And instead of just passively commenting on somebody who is suffering, we say, oh, that is so bad. We come across some lady who's suffering, we just sympathize. But we don't want sympathy. We want to be empathetic. We want to give a message of active help, not just sympathy or belittling anybody. So I have a small, you can say, oath for Women's Day. So I would like to read it out, and if you can also, write it or repeat after me, I will be very grateful to all of you. So Siva sir, can I read it out, please?
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So since today is the Women's International Celebration, we all women need to take an oath, because we are all at a different juncture of life. So I shall read it out. Let us take an oath to fight every situation with courage and dignity, reason and self-defense. We pledge to keep fit, educate our masses, and reach out to the needy. We will strive to be the enlightened women of power and source of infinite strength. Instead of just thinking and introspecting, let us extend a helping hand to the suffering. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I'm grateful to all the people who joined here, and to Humeda madam, who joined on a very short note, to Rosin madam, and everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And you can send that oath or the pledge in our group.
Yes, I will.
So that they can read it carefully and
yes,
with them.
indeed.
Thank you very much, everyone. And we can close this as a happy meeting, and with the with the pledge that we will continue to work to change this world. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Ave Maria.
Thank you.
You.
Bye-bye.
God bless you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Namaste. Bye bye.